So welcome to today's Twitter Space, everybody. We are talking about perpetuals with ApeX. ApeX is powered by StarkEx on the StarkWare side, and they are celebrating a one-year anniversary of being live with us. And we wanted, and with some really great metrics, really great metrics. So we're very excited to have this space today to talk about what they're up to, what the roadmap is, and how you, everybody listening, can get involved and even trade on that platform. So let's kick things off. Mariam, do you want to introduce yourself? Name, what you're up to at Apex.
Sure thing. Hey guys, very glad to be part of the EMA. Thank you guys for organizing. We've been working with you for over a year already. Yeah, happy to be here talking about Apex, how we integrate it with StarkEx, what advantages it gives to the platform as well as the traders. A bit about myself. Well, my name is Mariam. I'm head of marketing at Apex. I've been involved in crypto since 2018, beginning of 2018. It's been a great journey, ups and downs, but still very glad to be part of the ecosystem, and looking forward to more developments in the space, as projects like yourself in terms of infrastructure, and also us really work around the clock to build something that would really benefit the community in the space. So yeah, that's a bit about myself.
Great, cool. So for the benefit of people who aren't who maybe aren't so familiar, what is Apex? Like, what can you do there? What trading is facilitated by Apex?
Sure. So Apex is this permissionless and non-custodial derivatives decentralized exchange. We are, as you know, powered by StarkWare's layer 2, which is StarkEx. We operate on an order book model, delivering both USDC and USDT cross-margin perpetual contracts with over 25 pairs. Yeah, I think overall we really take big pride in being one of the leading dexes. You did mention that the numbers speak for itself, and yeah, I'm not gonna comment any further. I think
Great.
like the aggregators have the data, so um, the platform itself is definitely like designed in a way to offer users this seamless and secure trading experience. With this wide range of crypto assets, and privacy and security, which is delivered as we leverage StarkWare's infrastructure.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, perpetuals trading with blockchain security, so people have self-custody of assets. Really elegant solution. This is running as an app chain powered by StarkEx, so it's not a not on a public network with other apps. It's a dedicated um chain where you're just doing Apex trading. Now there are multi-chain support. We'll get to that later on, but I just wanted to provide context for those people. Um, Metrics. Are there any metrics you feel comfortable sharing, or you want to direct people to look at that online? Um,
Sure. Yeah, I think like two key metrics that we've been like looking at, and are definitely something that we're proud of would be the volume. We reached like 17 billion cumulative volume over this year since launch. We have over 29,000 traders on the platform. I think like these two data points are definitely something
yeah.
to be very proud of. And then one last thing, the all-time high, actually we hit all-time high trading volume in 24-hour trading volume early November, a couple of weeks ago. I believe it was like the second week of November. We hit 420 mil in 24-hour trading volume. And that was something definitely that we were celebrating both internally and then externally with a lot of our partners. Yeah.
I remember watching that. Basically, I think that was a day when market was betting on an ETF being approved in the States. And it was eye-opening to see that scale.
Yeah, a lot of good sentiments, I think,
Yeah.
kind of worked together in order to bring that volatility and crazy trading volume.
What's interesting with me is I think when were talking about doing this sort of space a few weeks ago, I recalled you being at roughly $20 billion of cumulative trading volume, and now when I go to Apex Exchange, I see it's already at 26 billion. which is that's exponential growth that you're doing. If you have a day where you do $420 million, and even on other days we have $100 million, over a few weeks, those numbers grow very quickly, which is really really cool to see. And deep liquidity brings more liquidity as more traders want to go to exchanges with where they can get filled for tight spreads.
Yeah,
So
I think it's like a domino effect, really, right? Boosting trading volume brings better liquidity. With better liquidity, more people want to join, and that has been definitely a trend, right? Like since November last year, since we launched, and actually it did coincide with the whole FTX drama. A lot of people starting switching from CEXs to decentralized exchanges, and obviously people who are used to good liquidity on a centralized platforms, they had that feedback throughout, that the liquidity, and like till today, like a lot of like high volume traders might find that as a roadblock to join decentralized platforms. So I think that the volatility and improved market conditions have definitely served us well, um, giving platform better liquidity and bringing more traders.
yeah, it makes total sense. Now, if you're on the blockchain and you have a day where you have a $420 million in volume, how do you keep the gas fees low?
That's a good question. So I think like I can dive into the StarkEx and how StarkEx infrastructure is helping us deliver low gas fees, right? So on Apex's side, so essentially like what we are using, like what is StarkEx? I guess like a lot of community members who are listening would already know, but just like a high level overview. Um, so StarkEx is powered by Stark proofs, right? The infrastructure layer two scaling solution developed by StarkWare. This like the zero knowledge proofs that really kind of secure like validation of transaction in batches at some of the fastest speeds and lowest gas fees in decentralized finance. Exactly this integration, like integration of this engine, is something that allows us to provide our traders with this efficient, self-custodial, and highly secure trading experience, which is very much so fortified by fast withdrawals and gas-free transactions, right? So to give a bit more details, so what happens in the background is that we kind of bundle the thousands and thousands of transactions into one batch and then update the state in a single transaction at layer one, which significantly reduces gas costs. And additionally, because we are using the Validium mode, we only need to update the state on the Ethereum chain without really sending the raw transactions to the layer one. And this is the another approach that really helps to further lower gas fees on layer one. And actually, like if you just like go on Etherscan, right, and check like one of the transactions, like you will get a sense of what I'm talking about. Like you can see that, for example, there is a transaction, let's say, that costs like 0.1 ETH, and this transaction contains 1,000 transactions on layer two, making the cost per transaction like very minimal, right? So it's like 0.01 over 1,000. So this is like super low when you compare it to like other chains and other like infrastructure, right? This kind of eliminates the need for users to really pay for gas fees, and it's Apex trading system only has trade fees and no gas fees. So essentially, like on Apex, you just pay for your maker taker and then funding because that's the perpetuals. But gas fees only come into the game when you're doing the deposits or withdrawals. Yeah,
Yeah, that is. I want to just
scaling
compliment what you're saying.
solutions. So like that's the answer to your question. I told a long story, but scaling solution is something that allows you to reduce those gas fees without really compromising that security that Ethereum gives you.
That's amazing, and I want to like just compliment this for the benefit of others. Like when if Ethereum gas prices are going up from like 20 gwei for gas to 200 gwei per gas because there's a lot of activity. If you're trading on Apex, you don't feel that at all. You're still just paying the maker and taker fees, which are proportional to your trading volume. and that's it, regardless of the Ethereum prices. And then the Apex itself as a protocol, securing these transactions on chain on Ethereum, also doesn't really suffer because the the proof is being verified in Ethereum regardless of the conditions, and therefore it only benefits from putting more transactions into a proof rather than less transactions. This is a yeah. I mean, I've already been. I'm a bit biased, but this it's such an elegant solution. Higher transaction volume and high trading volume um, doesn't affect the end user and it only benefits the app, which is really exciting. Cool. Anyways, what sets you apart from other dexes? We know that there are other people trying to do perps trading. How do you differentiate yourself?
Sure. So I guess like there are a couple of reasons that I could kind of go over that really sets us apart, like this like tandem of all of this together, right? That really kind of sets us apart from other products in the market. One thing that I would want to mention, like as one of the top reasons, I would go for UI UX. I would definitely start by emphasizing the user friendliness of the platform. I feel like if you're someone who wants to explore DeFi and trade on a DEX, Apex would be the DEX to go for. If you're someone who has experience trading on an order book exchange, then you'll find Apex like so very easy to transition to. As mentioned, right, when I was doing like an intro, we operate on this classic order book model and provide users with this interface that is very user friendly, familiar, incredibly intuitive. And I think that's something that you would rarely find on other dexes. Second thing, I would, I mean, obviously, shout out to the infra we're built on, non-custodial nature, efficient trading engine, low fees. Like all of this comes from StarkEx, right? It's like self custody is so very important, especially since November last year. It kind of like not your keys, not your coins. It kind of became, like the daily mantra for everyone in the crypto space, like moving beyond those trusted intermediaries and taking full custody of your assets. And, just overall, like maintaining control over your finances. This is so very important. And I think after those events that unfolded last year, this has been reasserted. Like, what is the main value of this industry, right? Um, so yeah, self custody, obviously, efficient engine because as we leverage Validium and StarkEx, we essentially like deliver one of the fastest, being one of the fastest DEXs in the market when it comes to transaction speeds. We can process over 50 trades per second and 1,000 order placement cancellations. And when it comes to low fees, we already went over it. But yeah, even with the trading fees itself, um, uh, I mean, we mentioned we are not paying for gas fees apart from deposits and withdrawals. But when it comes to trading fees itself, they are at 0.02 for maker and 0.05 for taker. And then if you're using a referral link, you can actually enjoy 5% discount on those fees. And we are working on this VIP program that will be launching very, very soon. And with the VIP program, traders who exceed these predetermined trading volume benchmarks will have the opportunity to enjoy additional fee reductions. So overall, like we're really kind of going for that like low fee structure. Um, and I would also mention accessibility. I think that's like another key thing that Apex has been excelling at. We have multi-chain support for 7 chains: Arbitrum, BNB Chain, Polygon, Ethereum Mental, Avalanche, and Optimism C chain. So cross-chain deposit withdrawals are available on those chains. On top of that, talking about accessibility, we have 10 plus wallets. So whichever your heart desires, really, you can connect to Apex using those wallets. Pick the chain you want, deposit from those chains. So I think there are a lot of like these accessibility oriented solutions delivered, so that there are many different terminals that you can connect to. And I think like the most recent one, so this is not really about chains or wallets, but we've developed the Apex bot, which is which is essentially like the first ever decentralized and self-custodial trading bot on Telegram. So that's another way, right, to connect to the ApeX's trading platform. So yeah, I think accessibility definitely one of those. And finally, like I would say, revenue sharing. That's like very very important. I believe. It's very Web3, right? Like very DeFi. We have revenue sharing programs which allows users to participate, and kind of like it's like rewarding experience for them. Us kind of letting them to share the revenue of the protocol, uh, in a way to be, like grateful for their support and contribution, right? One of such programs, which was Trade to Earn, we wrapped it up on November 21st. It was like a 1 year program, which essentially allowed users to earn rewards on every single trade they would execute. And then our ongoing biggest revenue sharing program is the staking program, right? It allows users to stake their APEX, the governance token, or its escrowed version, ES APEX, and get rewards weekly in USDC. So essentially, you're getting rewards in real yield. Um, and let me remember, I think it was 500,000 USDC that was paid out to the staking program participants since the launch of the staking program. Let me, yeah, it was right. 450,000 USDC was shared through the revenue sharing program, allowing kind of participants, the Apex users, to participate in the success of the project, essentially, right? So I would say like revenue sharing models are definitely very important, and this whole customer centric model, because this is a Web3 project, community matters, and we want to give back to our community as much as possible because they help us being where we are at right now. So yeah, I think overall, Apex really brings traders that security and efficiency, and usability that some would say that can be found only on centralized exchanges, and then kind of fortifies that model with transparency, self custody, privacy, security. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I hope I answered your question.
So you definitely answered it. I think let's say we can break it up one by one. Some of the you mentioned a lot of things that set you apart. Um, the first thing is the order book model. So you mentioned you can do 50 settlements a second and up like 1,000 plus cancels and order submissions and amendments a second. Um, how so? And this is also a traditional order book. It's not an AMM. So I think to the listeners, there's a lot of benefit. Like traditional order books is how traditional markets work, and there's a reason for that. You just get the exact pricing that you wanted, no complications of liquidity pools. It really it's a good user experience, but you still get the scale because these orders are not being settled on chain. Just the trades are being settled on chain, but and you also get the security because the orders still are signed by the user's private signature and can only be accepted by the proof if they were all valid. Um, the next thing I want you mentioned multi-chain support. So do you want to just elaborate a bit more on that? Like what chains do you support? How exactly do you support them? And maybe what the long-term roadmap is with that.
Sure. So I just want to kind of piggyback on what you said, right, about
Uh,
this efficiency and performance. Um, I think that this like high throughput really ensures that users can execute trades quickly and efficiently without sacrificing anything, right? Without sacrificing that security. Using these cryptographic proofs. So I think like all of this just like really come together so nicely, to deliver like a lot of like best things of different like elements. I think it's very I myself very much enjoy it. So don't wanna yeah, like if you guys haven't used it, like you can definitely give it a shot and see for yourself. But I think it really comes together very nicely. All these like I would say like values of the blockchain and crypto ecosystem overall. Um and yeah. Yeah, to get back to your question about chains, right? So multi-chain support, yeah. So essentially, as mentioned, we have 7 chains available, allowing users to deposit and withdraw funds seamlessly. The way it works, essentially, so this is achieved by us deploying vault contracts on those various chains, right? For example, if you take Binance Smart Chain as an example, so when you, a user, initiate this deposit transaction on the BSC by depositing the USDC to the BSC vault contract, what happens in the background is the ApeX operator monitors this deposit transaction, and subsequently layer 2 funds are transferred to your account on ApeX's trading system. You are now enabled to use those funds to trade on the platform. On the other hand, when we're talking about withdrawals, if you wish to withdraw your funds from to the BSC chain, the narrative goes like you initiate this transfer transaction on layer 2 to the ApeX operator. You specify the information needed to receive those funds from BSC, and then the operator monitors the transfer transaction, and then transfer the funds on the BSC to the user's BSC address. This way, kind of the withdrawal process is completed. In terms of like withdrawals, essentially, I guess like there's a lot we can talk about. Um, the ability of users to withdraw their funds at any point in time, using the combination of StarkEx and DACs. But yeah, essentially, like in terms of like chains and how cross-chain deposits and withdrawals are possible, that's how it kind of plays out in kind of the grand scheme, right?
Makes total sense. Cool. So, okay, next thing. So we talked about multi-chain support. We talked about all these other points. The big thing you released this month is USDT as collateral. What made you go in this direction to support USDT in addition to USDC? And what, like, have you seen any good user feedback or positive metrics on that front?
Yes, yeah, USDT has been very exciting actually. I think this development has definitely um, made Apex one of the pioneering dexes, right, that offers support for both Circle USDC and USDT perpetual contracts. In terms of what made us go in this direction, I think, I mean, needless to say, right, recognizing the substantial share in the stable coin market that the USDT has. I think last time I checked, it's like up to 70%. It has like 70% dominance. Um, I think I mean, yeah, we took like a pretty significant leap forward by broadening the product range. And you mentioned feedback, and I think like over the course of our 1 year being live, we've been like receiving some requests for us to start listing. So I think it was kind of response back to that, right? We introduced USD contracts by initiating the trading pairs with the BTC USDT. And what's exciting is that we provide traders with 50x leverage on this pair. Additional contract listings are in the pipeline, so we will be pushing more on this front. But I think like in terms of like kind of to answer your question more, what made us go in this direction, I think it's a very strategic expansion. And as mentioned, user feedback, I think it kind of goes back to our commitment to like user centric innovations and like responsiveness to market trends. um, I think at the end of the day, it's I don't know, like our way to show like our dedication to listening to our traders' feedback and really working towards creating this ecosystem where we provide them with tools that enhance efficiency and broaden opportunities, right? uh, at the end of the day, I think like decentralized finance, decentralized trading is it has to do a lot with accessibility, transparency, and yeah, I think like it pretty much so aligns with our vision, and I would say was a very anticipated next step.
Yeah, good. Makes sense. Total sense. I think the more Firstly, USDT, as you said, the market share of that as a stablecoin is huge, and the more stablecoin collateral that users have, the better. Um, couldn't agree more. So the one thing you were also talking about was self-custody. Users have the ability, like, just have control of their funds. How do you align with this value? Um, and what plans do you have in the future to like promote self-custody to users?
Yeah, self custody definitely. I love this topic. I can talk endlessly about self custody, but I'll try to limit myself. Yeah, I mean, to start with this idea of like self custody, DEXs usually give users full control over their funds, right? Most of the DEXs, I would say. So this idea that users are responsible for managing their own private keys, it's really important. It reduces this risk of funds being frozen or seized by a centralized authority if you're storing them on centralized platforms. And I did mention in the beginning the whole FTX implosion, quite a watershed moment in crypto history, I would say. But yeah, like this is what self custody stands for, right? Not your keys, not your crypto. Definitely a cliche, but it stands true. Um, in terms of Apex, I think like Apex's community would definitely know like the lengths Apex has gone to help deliver this high performance derivatives DEX in speed, efficiency, liquidity, and security, but at the same time ensuring, guaranteeing the safety of traders' funds. It's definitely like a critical consideration in Apex's architecture and design. And working with you guys, like with StarkEx, right? I think it's the first major step forward when we got started with Apex in November last year. Um, so like I can maybe like explain a bit more and introduce the DACs because that's also something that really allows us to deliver that full custody rate for users, allow them to practice full custody rather. So essentially, like when we use StarkEx, users do enjoy this full control over and ownership of their funds, right? But most important part of this is that the funds are retrievable at any point in time. Um, but in order to us to ensure that and really enable our traders and users to have that self custody of their funds, we need to maintain this so called uninterrupted availability of user data. So, this is exactly where the DACs come. We work with four distinct DACs and they give us this reliable solution to ensure the accessibility of user data at all times and also allow for the direct withdrawal of user funds without any how to put this like a facilitation from the operator such as ourselves, right? So essentially like in a very highly unlikely scenario, if something was about to happen with platform, you can still get your funds. um so essentially like it guarantees like when we are working with partners like chainstack, which is one of our DACs, um we ensure that dependable and secure functioning of our platform during both regular and then emergency situations, right? And I feel that this gives such a peace of mind to the users of the platform. Like in regular hours, DAC partnerships, right? It kind of allows us to um, have this like the scope of operations covered that involve overseeing the state transitions and safeguarding the off-chain data. So I'm saying off-chain data because as mentioned we are using Validium, right? And Validium is the scaling solution that kind of stores data, doesn't store data on the Ethereum mainnet, which allows a Validium model to um, give that like substantial enhancements in transaction processing speed, right? Um, so essentially that's what happens in the regular hours. So like we have the off-chain data safeguarded, we have we make sure the state transitions are in sync, and then the Stark proofs are verified. So what happens in the emergency situation, like that's something that's the most important, like the kind of a takeaway from here, is that if something was about to happen, the DACs make off-chain data available to the public, and the users can actually directly retrieve their funds using the Merkle pass that are like linked with their accounts. And I know, like, this Merkle pass, blah blah blah. Like, it's like a lot of jargon, and sometimes like a lot of people just get lost because, okay, like, what is ASC? Like, what's Merkle pass? Like, okay, it's great, I can withdraw my funds, but I don't get it. I think, like, to that end, we've been working closely with our partners at L2Bit. For those of you guys who don't know, it's like analytics and research platform for Ethereum layer 2 scaling solutions. So what we are doing with them is we're working to create this user-friendly platform, which is currently under development, and that will help us integrate those forced withdrawals. So essentially, like, whatever I just talked about, this is happening in the background, but what you see from the interface is that you click and you have your funds. So essentially, the platform provides this streamlined and accessible approach to executing all these forced transactions, and also, other things such like ensuring the asset ownership with more like familiar and intuitive interface. So yeah, I kind of went to other direction, more in terms of. Oh, actually, you asked me, right? You asked me what was the future plan. So I think that kind of answers the question. Ensuring that we create more accessible and streamlined approach to executing all of these things that are associated with asset full custody. Yeah, I think, like, to kind of like sum it up, DAs are very important, and it kind of works in combination with overall like StarkEx infra for us to deliver the whole self custody the way it's supposed to. And Yeah, I think through this kind of strategic integrations, we really um, it really helps us establish our, like, apex's position as, I would say, like, front runner, right, in the DeFi decentralized exchange trading scene.
Yeah, I mean, I was hinting to the LTB thing. I just wanted you to say it yourself. It's really I also can speak about this for hours, and I mean, for somebody who works on this day to day, I think I take it for granted at this point. But for the people listening here, I don't think if you're not familiar with this, I don't think you understand how powerful this is. Basically, maybe I'm just repeating what Mariam said, but you can trustlessly go to the Ethereum smart contract and request withdrawal of your funds through that, and Ethereum, as a decentralized secure network, honors that withdrawal even if Apex, the committee members, choose to misbehave. Um, it's really powerful, and I can't wait for the rest of the world to see the value in this sort of thing, and for you to get to trillions of dollars of value because of that. Um, yeah, and the L2B. So wait, is that website's already live?
We are working with them.
Yeah,
We are
great.
working with them. That's definitely like something that we want to have, like, as one of the, the key plans of our roadmap, because that will change the game. Because right now we are saying the words which are very like unfamiliar maybe for some people, unless they do like deep research and stuff. So I think this will definitely change the game. And what we also intend to do, this is also like some of the upcoming plans. What we want to do is we want to kind of create a simulation that will replicate the shutdown of Apex, and then users can actually test this. They will have the opportunity to exercise how this emergency asset recovery feature works. I think it will be like a very interesting experience for users to kind of like practice withdrawing their assets during such again, highly unlikely but situations, but I think it's still good. I love saying this, like, peace of mind, and I think like these sort of things really give users peace of mind, and it's like really great. And Yeah, we will definitely do that once this development is complete. I think it will be a fun way to engage with users and kind of showcase like what it looks like to get your funds, like do the retrieval of your funds.
That would be so exciting to like do that in real time in production, testing the escape hatch. I think, or the withdrawal of funds.
Right?
So
Yeah.
amazing. And the best thing is, even for the average user who's not doing this, the fact that like they can do it, the fact that they can do it, um, is provides security to them, even if they don't need to do it themselves. You know what I mean? Like the fact that somebody could uh use this escape patch means that you have to have integrity as an exchange, and therefore they don't necessarily need to use this, but the knowing that it's there gives them the peace of mind. Um, yeah, it's like security. Often you pay for security, but the security guard does nothing. But that's the benefit of having the security. Um, yeah. Okay. Trying to think what else. So like maybe just an overall summary of like your first anniversary. You've had a fantastic year, $26 billion in trading, 30 million transactions. Um, how do you summarize the past year? What are you looking? What do you wish yourselves for the next year?
Sure. Yeah, anniversary. We celebrating it very big. I think like when we first like kind of created the campaign, like I was not like quite aware how many different like sub campaigns we created to this like overall big campaign. So now we're like launching everything like every day, almost like different fun events and like competition and like triple rewards for staking. So it's fun, a bit tiring to be honest, but it's fun to celebrate. I think it's a great milestone. In just 12 months, right? I think that we've definitely climbed the ladder and um, have been able to, secure this position as one of the leaders, I would say, in the space. Kind of offering both USDC and USDT, having up to a 50 at leverage, having 17 bill cumulative trading volume, 29,000 traders. I did mention we hit all-time high quite recently for 20 mil in 24-hour volume. So all of this like exciting things really. But another like two other things that I want to mention really, because I think that yes, Dex is our key product, but apart from developing a DEX, right? Um, Other important milestones, I would say, throughout this year has been us introducing these two passive income solutions with the launch of our staking program and our SLP. SLP is this first ever market making liquidity pool on a order book DEX. These two tools have been definitely favorites, I would say. Staking has been great. Like APY has been on average like 25-26%. As mentioned, users have earned over half mil with the revenue sharing, and the most exciting part is that it's paid out in USDC, so they get real yield, right? And then with SLP, yeah, SLP has definitely been Apexers' favorite. We unlocked the cap of the pool 5 times. It had been getting subscribed like in the matter of hours. The APR has been like around 19-20%, and it's a great tool. It allows you to access those market making strategies with a minimum $100 deposit. You contribute to the liquidity of to the platform. So the DEX has better liquidity, and in the background you're just earning passively in USDC again. So again, real yield has been dominating our strategy to ensure users get paid in stablecoin. I think another exciting thing has been the bot. um, I feel that trading bots have been taking over Telegram. Um, and we were able to deliver our first V1 of ApeX bot, this first decentralized and self-custodian bot on custodial bot on Telegram. Very excited. So we collected some feedback from users, and the second iteration is coming soon with more features that will allow users to have more enhanced experience while trading from their phones on Telegram Messenger. Apart from that, I would say like working with other projects has been very important to us. Again, like it's Web3, it's about the community, but also it's about like your peers, right? Like your other projects. I feel those strategic partnerships with some of the key players in the market have been very important to us. I'm going to start with you guys, and I'm not going to get into details what we've been up to because I think we covered it already. But like working with you first and foremost, working with other players such as Mantle, Arbitrum, really working towards expanding the ecosystem and enriching like the user experience. Um, I would definitely would like to give a shout out to Astrabit. It's an algorithmic trading software. We announced our collaboration like a couple of months ago. First time that algorithmic trading software kind of gets access to decentralized exchange. So we were very excited about the launch of our partnership with Astrabit. We've also teamed up with like very like DEX related improvements. If I want to list, I would go for this project called X Explore. It's like a market research platform which allows us to detect and prevent wash trading and civil attacks. And then we've teamed up with Stork. It's an Oracle network service provider, and Stork allows us to deliver those precise and reliable price data feeds. Also, very key to having like a well operating DEX.
Sorry, there were technical difficulties. I think what we'll do is we will wrap up and then we'll just tweet with text. Because we cover, I think, Mariam, we cover most things. The last thing I wanted to ask was just call to action.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, the main thing was a call to action to the end users, how they can register and start their first trades. But I think it's actually good to just tweet that as regular tweet. Get that out there. So apologies for those technical difficulties there.
Sure. Yeah, I think yeah, we pretty much covered it all. Just like one last thing that I wanted to like note. We kind of were cut short when we were talking about the roadmap. Yeah, I think just one thing that I wanted to add is that we are working on making more developments on the social trading side of things, launching DIDs. SBT minting event will be coming up. We'll try to push copy trading and other social trading tools. So that's on one side. The team will start working on this in the nearest future so that in the upcoming quarters we have that product out. And another very important part concerns more on the tokenomics side. We are making some revamp to our existing structure of tokenomics to kind of optimize the model and create more community benefits and overall, increase the project's value. So yeah, some exciting like more info on these are actually available on our anniversary blog, kind of detailing those upcoming updates to tokenomics, and we'll push more information to that regard as well to keep the community informed. In terms of CTA, how to get started, I think yeah, like we touched upon the user friendliness so many times. It's very easy. If you have a crypto wallet, you go to Apex. The website is apex.exchange. You click on trade, and then you click on connect wallet. You choose any of your favorite options available, and you just sign and you're good to go. Next step would be for you to make your deposit. You can either do USDC contract deposit or USDT, and then you can get started with trading.
Sounds great. I think also this we'll just need a link to that the blog post
Sure
as
thing.
well in the follow up. Awesome. Apologies to everybody for the technical glitches there. The first part of the space is out in a recording for those who want to listen to that. All right. Take care, everyone. And thank you for your time, Mariam.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for attending, and have a great rest of the day, y'all.
Bye.